Hello. How are you?
Keeping it real, keeping it real, keeping it real with Shannon, shining through, laughs and insight, shining so bright. Keeping it real, it feels so right. Real, keeping it real, keeping it real, keeping it real.
Hello, and welcome to the show tonight. So, how are you, my little
Hi.
co-host? How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. A little
Oh, you
tired, but I'm good.
so wow, you was out there shoveling too much snow?
Oh God.
Wow, this snowstorm was it
I
was something.
know.
I think it was about how many 50 feet of snow outside.
That's what it looked like.
It feels like about 50 feet outside. Yeah. Well, we're gonna be warm inside tonight because we have our special guest who is such a wonderful person and doing such wonderful things in the
Yes,
community and the
yes,
neighborhood. So we can't wait to bring her on.
yes. Well, we have tonight Stacey Bonello, who is founder and CEO of Bonello Productions. It's a full service event planning and production company dedicated to advancing the community wellness, food security, and youth development in Brooklyn and the surrounding communities. Stacy's mission is to empower individuals and strengthen communities and transform into lasting opportunities. So let's welcome Stacy Bonello to the show.
Welcome, Stacy. How are
Hey
you?
guys, I'm doing great tonight. A little tired too, but I'm doing great. I'm alive and blessed.
Mhm.
Everybody's so tired. I guess the snow gets tired of all that.
Shoveling is no joke.
That's what I said. Mm-mm. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we want to talk about all the interesting things that you do for the community, and so tonight we're talking about the Bono effect because you do so much for your foundation. So could you tell us, like, what made you decide to establish this foundation?
So the Bonello Foundation was started. It literally started over 20 years ago. On paper, I'm a 501(c)(3).
Oh, well, I guess we're having technical difficulties right
Difficult.
now, and hopefully she'll be able to join us back.
Hopefully she can get back
Yeah.
on or whatever. Yeah. Oh, okay then. So we'll continue to
Yeah.
talk about. She does a lot of community work with her foundation. Getting clothing for people, food, and different things. So I hope she gets back on so we can really kind of talk about that because there's just so much going on now in the world that people need so many things now. I mean, it's like they cutting all the program.
Doesn't follow instructions and wanted to call me.
Oh,
Um,
okay, then you're back. You're back.
yeah, and
All right.
so
So we
let's
we was
rewind and
continuing
come again.
talking about what you do.
So the
So
Bonello
we're
Foundation
gonna let
was
you
started.
talk about what it is. I started talking about some of the things that you do, with the program. So
Oh my
you can continue
goodness.
talking. I was talking
I'm
about,
so sorry.
the
Yeah, I'll
different
I'll chastise
activities.
them later.
Yeah. Okay then.
So the Bonello Foundation, like I said, started about 20 years ago on paper. Over 5 years ago, my lawyer decided, told me that I should put it on paper. I started the foundation, just for my love of giving back to the community. It's really an ode to my parents and my grandparents, who I grew up always giving back to somebody, even if I didn't get anything. My friends, would ask my mom for money at church, and they would always get what they needed. And she was always making food for other people that needed it. My dad would give you the shirt off his back. My grandparents, same thing. They took care of us. They took care of other kids. My grandfather, I have so many great memories with him. Just traveling around with him and just seeing him always giving to somebody that was in need. So it was instilled in me to just keep on giving back to other people that were really in need.
Now I know you do a lot of different events around,
Mhm.
helping to impact people's lives and you strengthen the community and stuff like that. What are some of the things that you do? I know one is, you do the clothing, like you get clothing for people.
Yes.
Just tell us like some of the events that you plan to bring, the people in.
Um, the pop-up closet. So we do a pop-up boutique, and we ask people to donate gently used or new clothing, because I don't give anything to anyone that I wouldn't want for myself or I wouldn't
Right.
wear for myself. So everything has to be cleaned and in great condition when they bring it in. And everything is set up like a boutique, because everyone deserves, a great experience to go shopping, and not just to go in and see a pile of clothes on the table. They deserve to, have a level of just beauty when they walk in. It's beautiful. Everything's on the racks. It looks like they walk into a boutique, so they're able to get clothing. We have baby items, coats, clothes, shoes, handbags, whatever we get donated, and we go through everything that we get before it goes out to the people that come to pick up the stuff. So that's one event. I have a health conference at the beginning, the top of every year. I start off the year with a health conference. I invite different health professionals, and whether it's traditional health or holistic health, we do spiritual health, any aspect of health, financial health, any aspect of health that you can think of is included in that conference. And men and women of all ages are able to come in and sit down and get resources. We do the blood pressure um, testing, glucose testing. So if you want to have that checked out as well, you can do that while you're there. We provide food for them. So it's open to the community. They're able to get all of our events are free and open to the community, unless, of course, it's a fundraiser. But as far as where the community is concerned, and I've come out of pocket over the years to because I don't believe in not doing something just because you didn't get the funding to do it. Or so there's a need out there. I'm going to reach out there and figure out a way to do it. No matter what it takes to get it done, it's going to
Mhm,
get done. And then once I put it out there, it's going to get done.
mhm,
And what
mhm.
kind of youth services that you provide as well?
So we also do a mentoring. It's called the Youth Summit, and it's an annual thing that we do. So besides just mentoring youth throughout the year, this is a specific event that is geared towards teaching them life skills. So again, financial literacy, mental health and wellness, which is huge. We talk to them about social media, about, what you put out is out
Mhm.
there. There's no taking it back. Once it's out there, it's out there. We teach them about being financially stable, learning about entrepreneurship, looking at different we have a professional panel that will come in and talk to them about different career choices, different career paths, letting them know that there are many paths to success, not just one. Me, personally, growing up in a Caribbean household, if you weren't a doctor or a nurse, like, you were not successful. And I'm neither a doctor or a nurse, but I do consider myself to be successful and blessed in whatever it is that I'm doing. So I just try to teach the kids and get people to come in and show them, hey, these are the different things that you can do and that you can achieve. You just got to put your mind to it, put the work in, and you can get it done. And you can be just as successful as anybody else out there, regardless of, who wants to put that label on you and tell you, okay, you have to be a doctor, you have to be a nurse, you have to be this. You don't have to be anything but what God called you to be. And
Mhm.
if that's the direction that you know that you're supposed to go in and you're passionate about it, you can definitely reach for the stars and achieve them.
So, Stacy, since we're talking about the youth, I want to stay on the youth
Mhm.
for a minute because
Okay.
we know now what's going on with our youth,
Yeah.
and we need to pay as much attention and as close attention as possible, and doing what we can, to help the youth and all like that. So now in your programs, I know you just said, things that you do with them. So
Mhm.
how's this set up? So do you have something like, every month, every quarter, or, how do you work with the youth? Is this an ongoing program that you have? Or is it just, maybe this month I might be doing something, with the youth, and maybe a month later. How do you stay in touch with you?
So I personally have certain programs that I will do with the youth, and the mentoring is ongoing. So I have
Mhm.
a group of youth that I'm always mentoring throughout the year, from the beginning of the year all the way through. I have youth that will call me. They'll let them. They even come to my, to my house. They'll travel with me. If I'm doing an event, they'll come out to all the events. So I constantly am monitoring them, mentoring them throughout the year. I also partner with other organizations that already are working with youth and bring those resources to them as well. So I've done a culinary class last year. We did a culinary class that also taught the youth how to get all the information that they needed to pass the food handler certification. So they were able to not only, because I'm a chef as well, so they were not only able to learn how to cook, but also how to pass that test and
Mhm.
go on to get their food handler certification.
So
But
Stacey,
there's so many different, I think there's so many different groups that I work with. So I kind of try to keep, you know, the youth. I do things with the youth. I do things with the seniors. I do things with the children, with the adults, with the women. So there's always something different going on at any given time, but I'm always connected to the youth.
Is there an
right.
age group that you normally just work with?
I have an affinity for the teens because they're it's so different than when we grew up, and they're drawn to me too, which is great. I have a lot of teens up to the point where, I've known some since they were like 13, 14, and now they're in their 20s, and they still come back and still call and still talk and still want to talk, still have their issues that they're going through, still talking to them. So anywhere within that maybe 14 to 21 age range. And I've worked with younger kids as well, but my affinity is towards the, younger adults and the teenagers moving into adulthood.
So, would you working with the youth, Stacey? Because I always try to, when I work with the young people, try to get to the bottom of some of the things that's going on. What do you see? And you working with the youth, what do you see that's missing with the young people today? That they seems to be so much more, them getting in trouble, or them, doing what they're supposed to be doing. What do you see that we need to do more with our young people? What is it that you see that's missing? Or do you,
I can't say a good leather strap. Um,
or we know that's missing? We
it
we
didn't
know
kill
that's
me.
missing.
But I think because the some of the parents are still kids themselves, and not just in age but also in the mentality as well, because I've, like I said, I've worked with the younger kids, and then I've seen their parents come in, and the mentality is very different than how my parents raised me and how I saw, how my parents functioned. Social media is like taking over
Right.
their minds, their bodies, their souls. Like everything is this. If it's not on social media, it doesn't exist. If
Mhm.
it's not, if it's not on TikTok, or they didn't say that on TikTok, it's like that's not real. They're so involved in this online world that they forget what the real world is. Like kids don't just go to the park and sit on the swings, or go take a bike ride, or go to an amusement park, or everyone's on these games, or they have the
Yeah.
goggle things that they have on. It's so much. It's like technology is good and evil at the same time, because these
Yeah.
kids, they take it for gospel. Like it's they cry. If you've ever seen some of the things where, if the kid doesn't have a tablet in front of them, they'll lose their minds, whether
Mhm.
they're driving in the car or
Could you
they're
say
even
that
sitting
again,
at
Stacey?
dinner.
Stacey, could you say that again? Could you
They
say that again,
lose their
Stacey?
minds.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
But
yes.
I find that they they thought process. I don't know why they think the way they do nowadays, and they're somewhat very destructive as well. I don't know if you heard about this whole new mall takeover where they decide they want to, destroy property and do all these certain things. And I'm saying, well, when we were growing up, we didn't think like that. Even if we were bored, we wasn't going out to destroy, the
No,
mall and the property. No.
Which it's the same thing the way they was throwing the snowballs at the police.
Well, what people were saying, well, we used to have snowball fights with the police officers. Like,
Right.
I mean, I guess
Well,
colloquially with the
how that
different things that
we're gonna take a break and come back because this is a prime example of what the problem is. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back with Stacey Bonello.
Oh yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Shannon.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Oh yeah, it's Shannon. Keeping it real. Keeping it real. Every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, on Facebook, YouTube. It's on tonight. It's Prime for 30 minutes. Join the chat. Hot topics, movers, shakers. How about that? Smart, outspoken. Don't miss a beat. It's true. Keeping it real with Shannon tonight. The hottest show in the city lights. It's Shannon. Oh yeah. It's Shannon. Keeping it real.
We're back with Miss Stacey Bonello, and before we went to break, basically, when Tiffany said well, she don't understand, why they acting like they're acting today, but we know why they act the way they act. They're not afraid of their parents. They're not afraid of the parents today.
At
Like
all.
it's just like you said when you was growing up. See, the same thing when I was growing up, and I'm sure I'm much older than you are. The thing is that we we weren't going to do any of those things because we was too afraid of our parents. It didn't mean that we didn't do things that we shouldn't be doing. I'm sure there's plenty of us that did it. If my father said come straight home, I always detoured before I got home, but I just got home before he did. You know what I'm saying? But we
Mhm.
wasn't doing things that's going to be destructive or hurting anyone else. It's just like now when you see the young kids and every time you look at a shooting on TV with the young people, they're like 13, 14, 15, and 16. And I'm saying, well, when I was 15, 16, 17, I was still jumping double dutch on the street and playing handball up against the building. So I don't understand how your mind even thinking about picking up a gun. So
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying that's going on with the young people today.
Right.
The
Yeah,
mind.
well, they are. I mean, I don't, I they claim that they're bored. I mean, I can't believe that because I do believe there's a lot of programs out here for them. And you're right too. They not scared of their parent because I remember, my mother said, "You go to jail, you better figure it out." And and I feel the same thing with mine. Like, I would get a phone call that you was up there destroying the mall or something. Like, I hope that public defender work out for you because I ain't spending a dime to help you.
And my brother claimed that I picked up the phone once to call the cops. I don't remember that ever happening. And I'm pretty sure my mother probably knocked me out. Like when my mother said my mother used to work in the city and she would leave work at 5 o'clock. If we were outside playing on the porch, not even outside the gate, just on the porch. At 5 o'clock, we were inside the house. She didn't
Exactly.
even leave the city yet. But we didn't
Exactly.
want anybody reporting back to her to let her know that your kids were still outside at 5 o'clock when they were not supposed to be.
Yeah,
And
because the parents
nowadays you
don't want
have
to
the,
say anything.
you've got people that you can't touch your kids. You can't yell at your kids too hard. We have to do soft parenting or gentle parenting. And these kids don't respect any of that.
No.
Well, that's because the parents are see when they like when the parent told me when I told the parent when the kid because I work for the board of ed and when the kids was cursing at the mother, and I'm looking at her like, "Excuse me, I'm waiting for you to say something, or at least get up and do a backhand slap or something." And she's telling me, "Oh, well, Miss Shannon, you can't be hitting on the kids today because they want to arrest you and everything." And I'm looking at her and say, "Excuse me, go back and read the law. It didn't say not discipline your kids. It says do not abuse your kids. You
Right.
can discipline your kid, but are you thinking about the law?" And he's sitting here cursing at you, and you thinking about the law because see, when he get in trouble on the outside, what do you think the police is going to do to him? So it's better for you to save him than for them to be able to save him, because they might not save him, but you can save your child because you sit here and allow your child to curse at you like that, and they only 13 years old. Imagine by the time he gets 16, what he's going to do to you.
And then some of the parents are scared of the kids.
Yeah, yes, that's true too.
What I
Hmm.
was saying.
Hmm.
They're afraid of the kids.
Which
We're
is
afraid.
crazy.
Most of the older people now are afraid of the kids. Even if you say something to the young people today, the people are like, "Oh, you better watch it while you saying something to them or whatever."
Hmm.
I said, no, I don't think we should feel that way. I think we should be able to say something to the young people. It's how you approach them. You're not going
Right.
to approach them in a negative way. It's just like with the young man with the pants about to fall down and everything. And I said,
Mm.
well, young man, because you need to pull them pants up now because you looking too good. You are a handsome young man. I mean, how you gonna get a job with them pants hanging down like that? So he's telling me it's the style. I say, yeah, but that's a style just to wear probably like every now and then or something like that. But you have to be thinking about what is it you want to do with your life now, not just out here on the street with your pants hanging down, talking and cursing with your friends and stuff like that. Because I just think that we need to say something
Yeah.
to the young
And
people.
like you said, it's communication, and it's proper communication, and it's not what you say, it's how you
It's
say it,
how
and
you
that
say
goes
it.
from adulthood, children, all the way through. If you say it in a way, because I've said things to younger adults or young men and so forth, and they took it better because of how I said it to them.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
sometimes they may not fit because it's a lot softer now. These kids are a lot
Hmm.
softer. They're not
Hmm.
as tough as we
True.
were.
Very true.
So it's everything hurts their feelings. Everything is, oh my
Mhm.
god, oh my god, well, how
It's
could
the
you
end
do,
of
how
the
could you say
world.
that? So it's how you approach them, how you speak to them, and you can say things with love and correction at the same time and get through to them. I had a young
Hmm.
lady, she was like, oh, this, I was on the train just like 3 days ago. Yeah, I was on the train, and this old man, and I had to do what I had to do. Like, and he passed me and he brushed me, and I had to do it. I said, you did you really though? I said, you still want to, you don't want to get arrested for beating up an old man. And I said, she's like, I'm from Brooklyn. And I was like, yeah, but you want to get home. I said, you
Yeah.
want to get home in one piece.
Yeah, but it's not
Yeah.
even about being arrested because nowadays people just snap
And you
and they're
don't know
ready
what
to
people are going
kill
to
you.
do. You
I
really
mean,
don't know.
yeah. So
Because
you
you're crazy. As crazy as you are, there's
they're
somebody crazier
crazier,
out there.
right?
That's what I'm getting ready to say. You said he was an old man.
He was an
You
older man. Yeah.
he might be an older man, but you don't know what that man might be carrying. And what the old man can do just
Okay.
because they
He
old, that
might be
don't
an
mean
eighth
they
degree
can do
martial artist. You don't know
and
what he's doing.
and people just don't care what your age is nowadays.
No.
So
But it's a respect thing. Because if we respected our elders better than they do, then they wouldn't talk to them a certain way or treat them a certain way. So it's like it's bringing it back to teaching them how, and maybe bringing them into spaces. That's another thing I wanted to do. I will do is have an event where it brings the youth, bridges the gap between the youth and the seniors, where it brings them together so that they can learn to now start respecting the older people that have the wisdom and have the age and know what is going on in this world and can teach them some things, because they think that they can't, they already think they can't learn anything from us who may not be, the older generation. But there's so much wisdom in them, and if they actually sat down and listened and had to sit down and listen, they would learn so
yeah.
much.
That's
And
an
now that you
excellent.
say that, now that you bring up the bridging the gap with the seniors, I think that's such a good idea. So I
Mhm.
know you said that you work with the seniors in other aspects as well. What other programs do you have for them?
So a lot of the events that we do with the seniors are we've done will and estate planning events because a lot of seniors, you're getting older, you have your property, you have your kids, and then at the end of like you don't want your kids sitting there fighting over, who gets the china. So we try to educate them on, putting your will together, getting your estate stuff together. We also talk to them about elder abuse, which is physical abuse or financial abuse, because you may have a parent, you may have a child or a family member that may be taking care of you or taking care of your finances, but they're taking care of your finances, taking
Right.
them away from you. And
Mhm.
you're so trusting because you think, oh, this is a family member. You don't even realize that this
The
financial
family
abuse is
members
being
are making
done.
The one
trying to
taking
get
it
your stuff.
Yeah.
because you
Or
don't pay
spams,
attention.
these callers, people that call them and tell them all, oh, you won such and such. And they really think, like I've heard the stories. They really think they won something. They give them their credit card number or their bank
Right.
accounts, and
Mhm.
now they cleaned you out and you don't know what happened. And now you're stuck. So we try to go into we go into the senior centers, we go into different places, and we try to educate them and let them know, hey, this is what's going on in the world. And if advocate for computer classes for seniors, for them to learn a little bit of technology. You're not going to learn how to code and do a website, but you
Mhm.
should at least know the basics of technology so that you
Yeah.
know how to navigate through certain things.
Mhm.
That's a wonderful thing, Stacey, because they always prey on the seniors.
Yes,
Particularly
absolutely.
when they call your house on the phone and stuff, they figure they catch you off guard. And sometimes when they call and I answer the phone and they're talking and they're talking about Medicare, all this kind of stuff, and they're talking about
Yes.
different things and I'll say, don't you know that Medicare never calls anyone's house?
Hmm.
Evidently, you don't know that. You should learn that before you call the person's house and start talking about Medicare. Because you right
Mhm.
away it's a scam when they call it, or either they'll call and say, "Oh, well, you entitled to get the band for your back or your legs or whatever through your
Mhm.
Medicare." And then when you say something to them, so what I do sometimes, I just play with them. Sometimes, like, I do need that. How can I get all of that stuff? Did they get mad? Did they get mad and hang up the phone? So it's a scam. Oh, is that our to go music?
Got to go, unfortunately. I
Time to
mean,
go.
I was enjoying talking to Stacey. She had so many
Oh
wonderful
my God, Stacey,
stories.
we didn't even get everything in. We were talking, so you have to come back.
This was awesome, guys. I
Yeah,
thank you
because
so
I want
much.
you to
Thank you
come
so
back
much for
again
having me
because
on.
I want to know about when you do the part with the seniors and the young people together. I would like
Yes.
Yeah.
to be a part of that.
Yes, that
Yeah.
might be a spring fling type of thing.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much for all the work
Thank
that you
you.
do in the community because we need more people like you in the community. So, like I said, come back again and tell us some more about the program. So, thank you so much for
Absolutely.
joining us today. Remember, you can see us every Saturday on Brick at 5:30 p.m. and Manhattan Neighborhood Network at 2:30 p.m. And you can see us here every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. As always, we'll see you next time.